ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषये भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यम् श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यम् तं तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। अपारकरुणा सिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणम् श्रीचन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहम्। यत्कृपालेशमात्रेण पुमान् पूर्णः प्रजायते तं वन्दे ब्रह्मविद्भुर्यं सद्गुरुं चन्द्रशेखरम्। संसारसागरनिमग्नजनोदिधीर्षुः यो वातरच्छिवनृसिंहगुरुच्छलेन व्याढ्यान्धकारहरणं करुणासमुद्रम् तं दक्षिणास्य मनिषं हृदि भावयामि। तदात्मध्याननिरतं विषयेभ्यः पराङ्मुखम् नौमि शास्त्रेषु निष्णातं चन्द्रशेखरभारतीम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणम् तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्तगोचरं तमगोचरम्
सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्तगोचरं तमगोचरम्
गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्।
गोविन्दं
गोविन्दं
परमानन्दं
परमानन्दं
सद्गुरुं
सद्गुरुं
प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्।
प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्।
Shloka number 18. Sadhananyatra chatvari kathithani manishibihi
साधनान्यत्र
नान्यत्र
चत्वारि
चत्वारि
कथितानि
कथितानि
मनीषिणभिः।
मनीषिभिः।
yeshu satsveva sannishta yadabhavena siddhyati
येषु
येषु
सत्त्वेव
सत्त्वेषु
सन्निष्ठा
सन्निष्ठा
यद
यदा
यदभावेन
सिद्ध्यति।
सिद्ध्यति।
The topic being discussed is adhikaritvam. Having started from Manushya Janma Prashamsa, the glory of Manushya Janma, and the person who doesn't attempt for gaining moksha, the condition of that person, the status of that person, having gained Manushya Janma, he doesn't work. So Magati Vinashtihi, the great loss. So presenting or emphasizing that the need, importance of working for moksha, which is possible only through Manushya Janma. So through Anvaya Vitireka, the Acharya in the beginning he presented, and three graces: Manushyattvam, Mumukshutvam, Mahapurusha, Samshrayatvam. Etatrayam Durlabam Loke. These three are very rare in this loka, and the person who having gained doesn't work. It's a big loss. So having presented the greatness of Manushya Janma, since only through Manushya Janma, moksha Purushartha is possible among the four Purusharthas, and moksha is since it is the Parama Purushartha, and since all work for moksha indirectly through in and through all the Purushartha, Dharma, Artha, Kama, through all the Purushartha, a person works only for moksha. Therefore, and that moksha is the goal. The purpose of life is to become free. There is no other purpose. And moksha is possible only through jnanam. So therefore, jnanam eva sadhanam. Jnana deva kaivalyam. Only through jnanam, only through knowledge, moksha is possible. And avidya is the cause for samsara. Therefore, jnanam is the only remedy for the samsara malady. Therefore, jnanena eva moksha. And for gaining that jnanam, even though everyone is eligible, Manushya Janma, the person should be a human being. That is the basic qualification. But that jnanam, when it is given to a fit recipient, then the knowledge will fructify in the form of the result, the immediate result, here and now, that is freedom, moksha. So therefore, the adhikari. So adhikaritvam, the fitness The fitness, the yogyata is emphasized. That is the topic, adhikaritvam. Since eligibility is required for everything in the world as we see, so too here in the field of moksha also, eligibility is expected on the students, on the part of the human beings who desire for moksha. Desire for moksha itself is a big thing. People desire and work for gaining so many things in life. Such a valuable, precious life is spent in gaining petty things. But the desire for moksha, that itself is a big thing. And transition from being a mumukshu to jignasu. Moksha is possible only through knowledge. Therefore, the desire which was there in the form of wanting to be free is now converted into wanting to gain knowledge, because only through knowledge moksha is possible. Avidya being the cause, ajnanam being the cause, ajnanam can be removed only by jnanam. For jnanam, pramanam, the means of knowledge is required. For gaining knowledge, we require appropriate means of knowledge, pramanam. Prama, pramanena siddhyati. Prama knowledge. Prama requires pramanam. Prameyasya pramanadvara pramata labate. Pramata, the knower, the, the knower gains the knowledge of the object of inquiry through applying appropriate pramana. And pramana is shastram. There is no other pramana other than shastram. If it is there, then shastram ceases to be a pramanam. That is called pramanam, which is the object of what the pramanam reveals, the object of knowledge that is not knowable by any other means of knowledge. That is pramanam. Therefore, shastram is a pramanam. So only through shastra adhyayanam, knowledge is gained. And therefore, shastram, since should not be studied by oneself, as it may lead to different understanding, misunderstandings, wrong interpretations. Therefore, it requires a teacher who comes the sampradaya. It is a time-tested tradition. Therefore, sampradaya, that for guru, therefore shastra. So therefore, only in the beginning, the acharya said, let the person approach the teacher. Gurum upasadya. Gurum upasadya. The person approaching the acharya. Ato vimuktiyai prayeteta vidwan. Sanyasta bhagyartha sukaspragassan. Tenopadishta. Santam mahantam samupetya. Deshikam tena upadishta. Upadishtartha samahitatma. Tena guruna. Santam mahantam samupetya. So Acharya has told the necessity, the importance of Guru, the Shastram, and now the topic is the Adhikaritvam. And this Adhikaritvam is gained by the preliminary disciplines like the lifestyle in the form of Karma Yoga and the Upasana which helps to focus the mind on the topic for a length of time. Meditations, upasana, puja, etc. also comes under upasana. All these enhances the adhikaritam of the person. But these are only preliminary disciplines. That is why Acharya also beginning, he told, Chittasya shuddhaye karma natu vastu upalabdhaye vadantu shastrani yajantu devan kuruvantu karmani bhajantu devataha. Let the person do all those things. Let him do karma, let him do puja, homa, yajna, pilgrimage, snanam, punyatirtha sthanam, whatever it is. But atmaika bodhena vimuktihi na siddhyati. Even in Brahma Shatantarepi, even in 100, even in Brahma Shatantarepi, 100 years of Brahmaji's life, and so not possible. So therefore, Jnanam, and for gaining Jnanam Shastram, therefore Guru, and this Jnanam to fructify Adhikaritvam, Apekshate Adhikaritvam is required, and that Adhikaritvam is the topic. This way of presentation we see only in the Prakarana Granthas, not in the Upanishads. In the Upanishads, which is the Mula Grantha, Mula Pramana, these details are scattered all over. That is why Prakarana Grantha presents its topic in a cogent order, so that we understand, so that there is clear presentation, clear understanding, therefore clear understanding. Since there is clear presentation of the topics, sequential presentation of the topics are presented in an order. So therefore we understand. The understanding becomes easier. These are not presented in this order in the Upanishads. The Acharyas in the tradition, they have studied all those Mula Grantha in depth, and having understood, for the sake of the benefit of the aspirants, presented this in a cogent order. And here the Shankaracharya beautifully, this Prakarana Grantha, it's a big Prakarana Grantha presents. So the topic, therefore, what we are seeing is Adhikaritvam. So slowly, step by step, you will get into the topic. The topic is Viveka. We have not yet arrived at the topic. We are in the introduction stage only. Now, Adhikaritvam is the topic. Now, this Adhikaritvam, as we have seen, can be gained by in course of time. In fact, the whole life we work for it. We may gain Adhikaritvam. Adhikaritvam is a growing thing. There is no ideal Adhikari. Like there is no ideal gas in chemistry. There is no ideal gas. There is no ideal person. There is no ideal thing. Even the characters, what we see in Puranas, etc., in an ideal personality. It is a concept. The idea is one has to work to become that ideal person. So similarly, the ideal adhikari doesn't exist. Adhikaritvam is a growing thing. The more we grow, every day we grow, or we are supposed to grow. So therefore, the growth is a growing thing. Therefore, it takes years. It takes janmas, in fact. Bhagunam janmanamante jnanaman mam prapatyate. At the end of so many janma, jnanaman, having gained jnanam, the person gains me. Bhagavan says the Gita. Then it is not immediate, no one. Then, provided the person is an adhikari, the knowledge is gained the moment the Shastra is taught to that person. That requires great deal of adhikaritvam. The person should be a Uttama adhikari. Uttama adhikari For Uttamadhikari, Shravana Matrena Jnanam Siddhyati. Uttamadhikarinam Shastra Shravanena Eva Jnanam Siddhyati. Adhama Adhikarinam Madhyam Adhikarinam Eva Karma Yoga Upasana Anyani Sadhanani Cha Anyani Sadhanani Cha Prekshante. Other sadhanas, karma yoga, etc. Whatever required, those things are required only for the Madhyama Adhikari and Adhama Adhikari. And an important thing is even the study of Shastram also helps a person to gain Adhikaritva. Studying of Shastram continuously, regularly, regular study of Shastram, engaging oneself continuously in the study of Shastram, even if not continuously, at least every day sometime, dedicating some time to the study of Shastram helps a person to gain Adhikaritam. Since we are listening to the words of the Acharyas, great Acharyas, Rishis, Upanishads Vakyas are of the Rishis. Therefore, since we learn, it gets into it's deep into our memory, work inside, and slowly starts manifesting. Therefore, our Adhikaritam increases, can be enhanced by the study of Shastram itself. So, therefore, Shastra study, Shastra Adhyayanam to be continuous, should not be given up. In spite of so many priorities in life, this should be the topmost priority. Some people message, they say some other priorities have come. So what should be done? The easy thing to be given up is the study of Shastra. Because other priorities occupies the top place. When other priorities occupy, and this doesn't occupy anywhere in the priority list. And because the gain is not immediate, the gain is not immediate, is not the dosha of the Shastra. It is the dosha of the individual. Shastram being Shastram, it doesn't have any dosha. The dosha is of the person alone, the lack of adhikaritam alone. Therefore, the priority is to be given top priority to the Shastram, by which a person can utilize this rare Manushya Janma. As Chinmayanji says, from animal man to man man and man man to God man. So the only way is to regular study of, consistent study of Shastra. So that enhances adhikaritvam of a person. So therefore, technically speaking, this adhikaritvam meaning these are the sadhanas, the fourfold qualifications, sadhana chatushtaya sampattihi, chattvari sadhanani, manishibihi, jnanibihi vidvadbihi, katitani, shastreshu, yeshu tatsu, in the presence of which Brahmanishta siddhyati, no chet na yadabhave na siddhyati. So Acharya in the second line of this shloka clearly stated, let us not blame the pravanam or even or you can blame the teacher who teaches for having not communicated properly, but it is the lack of the preparedness alone. The lack of preparedness alone is cause for not gaining, not not gaining this, not seeing this knowledge fructified in the form of moksha. So Yeshu Tatsu, when the sadhanas are present, Tannishta, Brahmanishta, Vidyati, in the presence of which, then one Nishta in Brahma, Nishta in Ishvara, That jnanam, the steadiness of jnanam which is not shaken by anything. All the time, the jnanam that aham ishvarat na bhinnaha, aham purnaha, aham na martyaha, aham ajaha, aham nityaha. So, aham Brahma Asmi iti. Brahma is Purnaha, which is complete, total. I never became or I never lacked anything so that I want to become complete. Ever Purnaha. It is Siddha Vishayaha. That Siddha Vishaya, it's an already accomplished thing. Therefore, one has to know it. That is why he say realize it is already that. But one has to acknowledge. Acknowledging the truth, acknowledging the fact that Aham Purnaha, I am total, I am complete, I am adequate. Inadequacy is samsara, adequacy is moksha. Inadequacy, it is really, it is really not. The inadequacy is an notion. Incompleteness is a notion. Apurnatvam is a notion. Aham martyaha, aham shariravan is a notion. The notion is removed only by the knowledge. Therefore, that requires the knowledge requires Shastram, therefore Guru, and above all it requires Adhikaritvam. When Adhikaritvam is there, then the knowledge is certain. Nishta in this jnanam is certain. And Adhikaritvam is not there when there is a lack of certain things, Shama, Dhamma, Titiksha, or even primary is Viveka or Vairagya, then this knowledge cannot, Nishta in this knowledge, the steadiness of this knowledge cannot happen. Therefore, Anvaya Vyatireka Mukhena, Acharya emphasize the importance of Adhikaritvam. Now, having said Adhikaritvam, Adhikari is the who is an Adhikari, but those qualifications, Viveka Vairagya, the Acharya has presented through the person. The previous shloka, Vivekinaha Viraktasya Shamadhi Gunashalinaha Mumukshore Vahi Brahma Jignasa Yogita Mata. He has presented through the person, but in the next shloka, he is going to present the qualifications separately. So you will see there may be repetitions. There are repetitions, the topics are repeated. There is a thinking, there is a notion among the acharyas also. This text is the text not written at a very particular time seriously, continuously. The shlokas possibly were there scattered and were put together. Therefore, you see the topics being repeated. The repetition is not a dosha in the case of the Vedanta because it is remembrance, again and again reminding, self-reminding, reminding. So we require reminding because forgetfulness is our nature. So constantly reminding, constant remembrance. That is why Pratidina Shastra Adhyayanam, the constant remembrance, reminding. So therefore, this Punarukti, the repetition is not a dosha. It's that Punarukti, in the case of other things, in Vyavahara and all, Punarukti is dosha. Saying the same thing again, a person may get irritated, but it is not in the case of the Shastram. So you will see the topics being repeated. Therefore, you will not miss. In fact, we have not yet gone to the topic. It's only the introductory stage. In the introductory stage itself, you see the topics being repeated. And when you enter the topic, there will be repetitions. The words are different, but the topic is same. So in this shloka, Chatvari sadhanani katitani iti uktva Vyakyana Acharyaha Chandrasekhar Swami through various quotations from the Upanishads. Various quotations from the Upanishads, yes, nicely has presented from the different Upanishads how this Chatvari Sadhanani Katitani Manishivihi. Parikshalokan Karmachitan Virvedamayat, that is from the Mundaka Upanishad, from the Vairagya. Similarly, Viveka, Shantaha Dantaha Uparatihi Titikshu iti, those from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So all these are taken from different Upanishads, and that alone is presented in the form of a Sadhana Chaturshya Champati. Iti Ityadi Vakya Vigita Jignasa Yogyata iti Sarvam Chaturastram. So this is well settled, harmoniously concluded that these qualifications are taken from the source, that is Upanishads. Therefore, Acharya he quotes from different Upanishads how these are mentioned. These values are mentioned, scattered in different Upanishads, in different places. So having said that, the next shloka, the Acharya is going to enumerate those qualifications and then describe what they are in the subsequent shlokas. So the first shloka number 19, and there is a Sangati, a connection, Sambandha Vakyam is that. Tatra Vivekinaha Viraktasya Ityadina, Vivekino Viraktasya Shamadhi Gunasharinaha, 17th shloka, that Acharya refers to that shloka. Tatra Vivekino Viraktasya Ityadina, Katitam Vivekadikam Kramataha Nirdishati Ado Ityadina. So the Viveka, etc., which were presented in order in the shloka through the person, now those are listed. Those are listed. Ado Ityadina, beginning with Ado. The shloka begins with Ado. Ado means to start with. What are those qualifications? To start with Viveka, then Vairagya, then Samadhi Sampattihi, then Mokshutvam. That Acharya says. So let us read the shloka 19. Ado Nitya Vastu Vivekaha Pariganyate.
आदौ
आदौ
नित्यवस्तु
नित्यवस्तु विवेकः
विवेकः
परिगण्यते
परिगण्यते
या मुत्र फलभोग विरागस्तदनन्तरम्
इहामुत्रफलभोगविरागस्तदनन्तरम्
क्षमादिषट्कसम्पत्तिर्मुमुक्षत्वम् इति स्फुटम्
समाधिषट्कसम्पत्तिर्मुमुक्षत्वमिति स्फुटम्
Adau is Saptami Ekavachanam of Adi Shabda. Adi has got etc. meaning is there. Means being. Adiman. Begin that one has got a beginning. Anadimat Param Gita. Anadimat, which doesn't have beginning. Avidya is Anadi. Samsara is when it started, we don't know. Started. It is there, Anadi. So Adi, Adau, to begin with, at first. Pariganyate, Adau, Kaha Pariganyate, Pariganyate is enumerated. Pari Purvaka Gan Dhatoho, Gan Dhatuhu, Karmani Prayogaha, Gan Ganayati, Churadigana Dhatuhu. Adau Pariganyate. Adau first it is enumerated, that is Nitya Vastu Vivekaha. Nitya Anitya Vastu Vivekaha Pariganyate. Nityascha Anityascha Nitya Nityau Nitya Anitya. Savarna Dirga. Nitya Vastu Anitya Vastu. Nitya Nitya Vastunaha Vivekaha. Viveka is discriminative inquiry. Inquiry to know distinctly. It is Viveka Vicharaha, is Vivekaha. To know which is permanent, which is not permanent. What is real security, which I can hold on to, so that I can drop those things which are notionally secure for me. Holding on to impermanent things, thinking that they are the source of security. The whole life becomes tragedy. Therefore, I have to drop that. Therefore, one has to be one has to be intelligent enough to have this discrimination to find out which is permanent, so that I can hold on to the permanent and drop that which is not permanent. So therefore, Nitya Anitya Vastu Vivekaha, and it is going to be told in detail in the other shlokas. Nitya is that which is Nitya, that doesn't come and go. Anitya is which doesn't stay forever. It is Sanitya, today is that, tomorrow it is not that. Shvabhava Matyasya Yadanta Kaikata Sarvendriyanam Jarayanti Tejaha, as Nachiketa told Yamadharmaraja. We don't know whether tomorrow it will be there or not. All the Indriyas and Indriya Sukham which we enjoy through our Indriyas. Our Indriya they grow old. That which was seemingly giving me Sukham doesn't give Sukham anymore. The object being same. My Indriyas have become old. So therefore, which I thought to be a Nitya Sukham, it is no more a Sukham. Or either the object would have changed, doesn't give me Sukham anymore. Therefore, it is Anitya. All Vishayanandas are Anitya. Then what is Nitya? That which doesn't change, whose nature is the same all the time, doesn't change with the time, doesn't undergo any form of changes. That is what it is, irrespective of the conditions, irrespective of the time, irrespective of the place, that which doesn't change. Is there any such thing? That is what inquiry is. If that is there, that is what I want. If it is something other than that, I can work to gain that and hold on to it, that so that I become secure. That is Nitya. And Shastra is going to tell that is you. That is what the teaching is. So therefore, Nitya Anitya Vastu Vivekaha. So many Vastus are there. We hold on to so many things in the world. Among them, which is Nitya, which is Anitya, and that too now in this volatile world, which is Nitya, Anitya, we can easily see which is Anitya. Relationships are not Nitya. Things are not Nitya. Possessions, money, they are not Nitya in this, and that too in now the way the world goes. So therefore, which is Nitya, that requires vichara. That's why Vivekaha, Vichir, distinctly, distinctly know, distinctly know and hold on to Nitya and give up Anitya. Here, giving up Anitya is going to come. That is Vairagya. So Nitya, knowing distinctly that which is Nitya and which are Anityas. Nitya cannot be many. It has to be one. And rest are Anityas. That which is nityam, that which is ever permanent, it cannot be so many things. There has to be one. And that which is anitya, the anityas cannot be one. Anitya should be many. Why we say? Because that which is permanent doesn't undergo any change. All the time it is same. Then it must be the total. It must be without any limitations. If there is second nitya thing, then that will limit the first nitya thing. There cannot be two limitless things. It is an oxymoron. There can be only one limitless, limitless in terms of place, limitless in terms of time, limitless in terms of objects. So that is nitya. Therefore, atma eva nitya tat sarvam anyat sarvam anitya. That is what Acharya is going to tell in the when he talks about Viveka in the upcoming shlokas. Therefore, here Vivekaha Pratama Sadhanam Vivekaha Ihamutrartha Ihamutra Palabhoga Viragaha Tadanantaram. Tadanantaram is Viveka Anantaram. After Viveka, Tadanantaram, Iha is this Asmin, Loke, Bhuloke, this world, here, Iha, here, in this earth. Amutra, Amutra in means Swargadi Loka, the Loka to which the Jiva goes after Maranam. Could be Naraka, could be Swarga, could be the other Lokas. The sun Lokas down, the sun Lokas up, Atala Vitala Sutala, Mahatala Rasatala Patala, or Bhuhu, this Bhuhi, this is Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Mahajanaha, Tapaha, Satyaha, iti, whatever the lokas. This Amutra referring to those lokas. Pala Bhoga, Palanam Bhogaha, enjoying the results. Enjoying the results of action which were done in this loka. This Bhumi is, this Prithvi is Karma Bhumi. Here only you can do Karma. The results of which are accrued in the form of Papa, Punyam, enjoyable in the other lokas. So Amutra. So in Swarga Loka and all, there is Sukham, which is incomparable with the Sukham of this world. That is why there are aspirants for going to Swarga Loka. So therefore, if a person really wants moksha, really wants freedom, Swarga Loka also cannot give the person freedom because it is anityaha only. Because there you entered with the capital called punyam. When punyam is exhausted, punyam gets slowly reduced. Every day you spend punyam, like you spend money when you go on when you go on a picnic, on a tour, world tour. Therefore, the punyam, the capital also gets reduced every day. So therefore, when all the punyams are exhausted, or even in Naraka, all the papas are exhausted. Kshine punye or kshine pape, matya lokam mishanti. Again, one has to come back to this world alone. I'm not sure what janma the person will take, the jiva will take. So therefore, but what prompts the person to work for going to the other world is sukham, which is obtainable in the other loka. Therefore, with regard to that sukham obtainable in the other loka as well as in this loka, there must be viragaha. Viragaha is there must be dispassion. Viragaha. Raga is attachment. Viragaha. Viragaha. One must give up the craving for the pleasures enjoyed through sense organs, either this loka or that loka. That loka, Sarga loka also there are pleasures. And there you will have different shariram, maybe sukshma shariram, the Shariram far better than this Shariram, and endowed with a special sense organs for enjoying subtle sense pleasures far more satisfying than the pleasures enjoyed in this loka. So, there, with regard to that, there is viragaha, detachment or dispassion. There is indifference. Indifference to the sukham, indifference to the pleasures which are of this world or other worlds, whatever may be the world. So, pala is karma palam. Karma pala eva bhogaha, karma pala bhogaha, pala bhogaha. Yati yati karma palam, tat anityam, palatvat. That which is gained by karma, it has to be anityam only. Yati kritakam, tat anityam. That which is gained by karma has to be anitya. Palam, the result, is gained by an action. Therefore, the result of action, karma is done and the result is produced. Because it is produced, anything which is produced has to be anityam. Therefore, anityam, therefore the sukham, what it gave, that is anityam. Therefore, if you hold on to that sukham, you will be disappointed because it is anityam. Don't get it all the time. And also it binds you. You crave for more and more. And it is mixed with also dukkham, not only sukham, any sukham. Maybe Swarga Loka sukham is only sukham. But this loka, it is not like that. Anything you take, it is mixed with sukham as well as dukkham. Sukham is more, dukkham is less. But dukkham is there. So therefore, with regard to that, one must develop indifference, detachment. This detachment is preceded by Viveka. That is why Viveka is first. So Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka and then Vairagya. Tadanantaram. Because the Viveka Palam is Vairagya. Vairagyam is a consequence of Viveka. Otherwise, this Vairagya will be Mashana Vairagya. It will last only for a short time. When you see your dear near ones died, then you get vairagya, and that when you go to cremation ground, you get a lot of vairagya. That is only momentary. Mashana vairagyam, Narkata vairagyam doesn't last for long. It is born out of bereavement, not out of discriminative understanding of nitya and anitya. So therefore, vairagyam, and Swamiji translates vairagyam as objectivity, being objective, understanding the thing as it is, not giving over importance. That is vairagyam. Tadanantaram viragaha. Viraga is vairagyam. Viragasya bhavaha vairagyam. Then shamadhi shatka sampattihi. Shama. Shama is manasaha nigragaha shamaha. Sham adipadat. Therefore, other things follows and they are shatka. It is of six. Shatkam is six. So the six sampatti, sixfold wealth beginning with Shama, etc. Shama, Samadhi Shatka Sampattihi, that is a third thing, third qualification, and Mumukshutvam, the intense desire to become free. Mumukshutvam, the intense desire for gaining Nitya Vastu. It is Putam. All these are clearly Vedanta Shastreshu Sputam Uchyate. Vedanta Shastreshu, in the Vedanta Shastra, all these are clearly mentioned. In the presence of which Yeshu Satsu Tannishta Brahmanishta Siddhyati. That we have to supply Yeshu Satsu Brahmanishta Siddhyati. Vedabhave Na Siddhyati. Now the Vyakyanam commentary. विवेकादीनां मध्ये पूर्वपूर्वस्य उत्तरोत्तर हेतुत्वात् क्रमः समासितः. There is an order in the mentioning of the qualifications. Vivekadina madhye, Viveka, etc. Among this, Purva Purva Parasya, Uttarottara Hetutvat. What precedes is the cause for the following, the succeeding ones. Like Vairagya is there, the cause of Vairagya is Viveka. So in the absence of Viveka, if Vairagya is there, then it is not real Vairagya. So Vairagyam should be preceded by Viveka. So therefore, Purva Purva Sya, Uttarottara Hetutvat. So each the values which precedes, which they are the each values which follows, they have the cause in the preceding ones. Therefore, there is krama, there is an order. Idam nityam, idam anityam iti jananaha kila anityat virajyeta. This is nityam, this is anityam iti jananaha shatranta. The one who knows. Then only the person can withdraw from that which is anitya. Therefore, Viveka precedes. Virajyeta means withdrawing. That is Vairagya. The person can withdraw from Anitya Vastu only when he knows what is Nitya, what is Anitya. Anityam iti kim iti jnatavyam. Nityam kim iti Nitya Vastu kim iti jnatavyam. Tena eva Anitya Vastunaha virajyeta. Therefore, Vairagya. Ataha Nityanitya Vastu Viveka Avave Vairagyam Dussampadam iti Vivekasya Vairagya Hetuttam. Therefore, in the absence of Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka, Vairagyam is Dussampadam, Dukkena Sampadam. Vairagyam is difficult to gain, difficult to have Vairagya in the absence of Viveka. Vivekasya abhave, Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivekasya abhave, Vairagyam Asambhavam. Ataha Vairagyam, Vairagyasya Hetuhu Vivekaha. Ataha Vivekasya Vairagya Hetutvam. Viveka as a status of being the Hetu for Vairagya. That's why Acharya in the beginning said, but then order. Viveka first, which is followed by Vairagya. Vairagyavataha eva purushasya. Antarbhagirindriya Nirodha Rupa Shanti Dhanti. Vairagyavataha. Vairagyavataha is Matu Prataya. Vairagyavan, Vairagyavan, Vairagyavanto, Vairagyavantaha. Vairagyavataha is for the one who has got Vairagya. That is Shashti Vibhakti. Vairagyavataha Purushasya eva. Vairagyavataha. Visarga gone. Sandhi. Vairagyavataha Purushasya eva. For the person who has got Vairagya, for him only Antarindriya, Bhagirindriya, Nirodha Rupa Shanti Dhanti. For that person only Antarindriyam ityukte manaha, Bhagirindriyani ityukte Shrodradini Indriyani, Bhagirindriyani. Nirodha Rupa, Nirodha, Nigraha ityartaha. Managing, control. Control is not an appropriate word. That is mind or sense, managing the mind and sense. That is called Purushasya Shanti Dhanti. The one who has got Shanti is called Shanti. The one who is called Danta is called Danti. So Purushasya, only for the person who has got Vairagya, then only that person can have Antarindriya Nirodha, that is that is Shamaha. Bhagirindriya Nirodha is Damaha. Therefore only Shanti Danti. Shanti Danti is Shantaha Dantaha. Shantaha is Manasaha Nigragaha Shantaha. Indriyanam Nigragaha Dantaha. So Shanti Danti, the Shanta, the mind having the the capacity to manage the mind and the sense organs, these are gained by the person who has got vairagya. Tatrapi niruddhanta karanasya eva bhagirendriya nirodha rupa damaha manassambandha bhave itaresham indriyanam akinchit karatvat. Tatrapi, there also niruddha antakaranasya eva antakaranam niruddham antakaranam yasya saha, referring to the person, the one who has got mastery over the antakaranam, that is the mind. Antarindriya is antakaranam, bhagirindriya nirodha rupa damaha. One who has got mastery over the mind, for that person alone, there is bhagirindriya nirodha rupa damaha. For that person alone, there is dama. Dama is mastery over the sense organs. There is control of the mind. The person who has gained certain mastery over the mind, that person alone can have certain mastery over the sense organs. Sense organs, bhagirindriyani, bhagirindriyanam nirodha, nirodha rupa dhamaha. Dhamaha, when we say, it is bhagirindriya. Shama, when we say antarindriyam, antakaranam. Why we say, here he says, Acharya says, manaha, manas sambandha bhave, in the absence of mind, itaresham indriyanam akinchit karatva, they cannot do anything. They cannot do akinchit karatva, na kinchit kartum arhanti indriyani, in the absence of the mind. Manaha sambandha abhave. Manasaha sambandha yadi nasti tarhi indriyanam kim kartum indriyanam katam karma katam indriyanam katam karyam atava indriya vishayam praptam shakyate na. Backed up by the mind alone, indriyas function with the mana sambandha, with when doesn't backed up by the mind. When mind is not there, how can indriyas function? Indriyas cannot function, cannot act, cannot work. Therefore, the order is first is shamaha and then damaha. Targi shame sati damasya satasiddhatvat kimiti tasya sadhana koti pravishtattamiti chet. Acharya raises a nice question and then answers. When shama is there, then dhamma will be naturally there. Dhamma is indriyas cannot function without the mind, because indriyas are jada. Mind is also jada only. For the functioning of the mind, indriyas are not required. But for the functioning of the indriyas, mind is required. When a chakshur indriya functions, when an eye functions, when eye sees, only when mind is there, eyes can see. Otherwise, even though the eyes are open, like in the case of some people who sleeps with eyes open, they don't see because mind is not there. The person is sleeping, but eyes are open. Eyes could not see because mind is not there. Therefore, backed up by the mind only, sense organs function. When mind is not there, sense organs cannot function. Therefore, the order is shamaha, mind management, followed by damaha, sense organs, managing sense organs. Now, the Acharya raises a question here. When shama is there, when mastery of mind is there, then why then some dhamma is as well accomplished alone. Swatasiddhatvat. When you have mastery over the mind, then mastery of sense organs is natural. Swatasiddhatvat. Then we don't have to mention, then we don't have to separately sadhana, koti, pravishtatvam, tasya, kim iti. Why it should be mentioned separately, dhamma iti chet, if it is asked. Indriyani pramatini haranti prasavam manaha. इति भगवद्गीतायां अध्यायस्य श्लोक उक्त गीतोक्त श्लोकरीत्या शतप्रज्ञलक्षणा भगवान says, Indriyani pramatini haranti prasabam manaha. Even for the person, even the mind of the person is forcefully taken away by the turbulent sense organ. Iti Gitokta Ritya, iti Gitaya Uktaritya. As it is told in the Gita, Bhagyendri Nirodha Abhave Shamasya Dridatva Abhavat. That is the Hetu. Acharya quotes from the Shrutis to say why Dhamma is required after Shama. Because in the absence of Dhamma, Bhagyendriya Nirodha Abhave, Shamasya Drida Abhavat, Shama also cannot be Dridam, cannot be strong. Therefore, if sense organs are not managed, then mind cannot be managed. Sense organs naturally can take a person away from the mind. So therefore, sense organs can forcefully take the mind of a person. Shastram says, Gita, Bhagavan says, that is the pramanam. Therefore, Dhamma is required. Therefore, not just a Shama, Dhamma is also required. That's why Shama and Dhamma, mind management followed by sense organs, managing the sense organs. Therefore, Jitendriyasi eva, then after that, then we have Uparama Titiksha Shabda, that those things he says. Jitendriyasya eva, Uparama Shabdita, Sanyasaha, Tasya eva Shitoshnadi, Dvanda Stagishtatva Rupa, Titiksha, Tasya eva Bhagya Vikshepa Bhavat, Brahmani Aidamparyena Avasthan Lakshanam Samadam, Etadasha Guna Vishishtasya eva, Brahma Ekam Asti Jaganmitya iti Upadeshyamana Gurvedantavakya Vishwasarupa Shraddha iti Samadhi Shatka Madhye api Purva Aparibhave Karanam Svacham. For the one who has mastery over the sense organ, Jitendriyaha, Jitani Indriyani Yena Saha. It's a nice name, Jitendriyaha. Swami Jitendriyananda. One of my classmates got sannyasa, this name, Jitendriyananda. Jitendriyasya, referring to the person who has got mastery over sense organs. In Gita, one uses this Jitendriyaha. For the one who has got mastery over sense organs, for him only Uparama. Uparama is the next one. In the Uparati, the word Uparama has got is defined in so many ways. Uparama is Swadharma Anushtanam, Atava Sanyasaha, Atava this, the mind and sense organs which are withdrawn, maintaining that the status of being withdrawn. That is Uparama. So it is defined in many ways, but here Acharya takes the famous meaning Sanyasaha iti. Tasya eva, followed by, for the person who has got Uparama, for him alone Shitosha Sukha Dukkha Adi Sagishnutva Rupa Titiksha. Indirect Acharya says for sannyasi, for the one who has to put up with Chita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukkha, Labha, Alabha, all this Dvandva, Sagishnutvam, putting up with all these types of opposites. But Chinta, Vilapa, Ragitam, that is also important. Putting up with not lamenting. One has to accept. Matra Sparshastra Kaunteya, Shitoshta, Sukha, Dukkadaha, Agama, Payino, Nityaha, Tan, Titikshasva, Bharata. It is natural, Shita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukkha, all those things will come. So accepting, not lamenting. Chinta vilaparagitam sa titiksha nigadyate. Acharya will say the definition of titiksha. Putting up with all this, pairs of opposites, that is titiksha. Tasya eva, for that person alone, there will be samadhanam, bhagya vikshepa. Because of bhagya vikshepa is scattered in the mind, doesn't, it's scattered all over. Therefore his mind will be in Brahma eva. So Brahmani Aidam Paryena Avasthana Lakshanam, being placed in Brahma, that is called Samadhanam. Samadhanam is Samyak Adiyate Manaha Antakarnam Yasmin iti. Chitta Samadhanam Samadhihi. Chitta Samadhanam, the mind will be Samadhanam, will not be lamenting, it will not move away from the object of focus. And here it is Brahma. Remains in the Brahma, which is the goal, which is the object of the Chitta Vishaya. Now, therefore, Samadhanam. Etadrisha Guna Vishishtasya eva, for the one who is endowed with such gunas, for that person only, Ekam Brahma Asti, Jagat Idam Jagat Mithya iti, for that person only, this iti Upadeshyamana Guru Vedanta Vaki Vishwasarupa Shraddha, for that person only, Brahma Ekam Asti, Ekame Brahma, this Jagat is Mithya, not real. Iti Upadeshyamana Guru Vedanta, the Guru who teaches, what he teaches is Vedanta only, and in the Vedanta Vakya, Vishwataha, believing, it's more than belief. That is why it is Shraddha. Shraddha in the words of the teacher, the words are Vedanta Vakya of the teacher, and the teaching is Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. It is Shamadhi Shatka Madhyapi, even among the Shamadhi Shatka Sampati also, the sixfold qualification, which is a third among the fourfold qualification, there is Purva Apari Bhave, that is preceding, succeeding, that relations is there. The Karanam is very clear, Sushtu Bhuktam Suvacham. Etadrishaka Kila Purusha Dhaureyaha Mokshat Anyata na Kamayate Tatra Vilamam na Sakate Tivra Mumukshavan Bhavitam Argati iti Aviprayena Ado Nitya iti Aha. The last one is Titiksha. For such a Purusha Dhaureyaha, Purusha Dhaureya is a Pratipadikam for the one, the person who is committed, who is Dhiraha, Viveki Purusha Dhaureyaha. He doesn't desire anything other than moksha. For that person, he doesn't tolerate vilamba. Vilamba means gap. Vilamba is late. He doesn't wait for moksha anymore. He becomes a tivra mumukshu, intense desire for moksha. Vilambam na sagate. Doesn't tolerate. He doesn't want to wait anymore. He becomes very sincere, committed to moksha. Therefore, tivra mumukshavan. He alone, Bhavitum Hargati, ought to become a Tiva Mumukshavan iti Aviprayana. This Avipraya, Acharya said, Ado, Nitya Vastu Vivekaha. Tadantaram, after that follows, after Viveka, Viragaha, Ihamutra Palaboha, Viragaha iti cha. Tena, Viveka Anantarasya Vairagya Katanena. After Viveka, Vairagya is told, therefore, Taduditaha sahahi yaha yadanantaraha iti nyayena viveka karyatvam vairagye uktaprayam. Viveka is the karanam and vairagya is the effect karyam. So, by the nyaya, yadantara, yaha yadantaraha saha taduditaha. Yat yaha yat antaraha. That something, if something is within something, then it means that would come from that. So Vairagya is Antaraha Vivek. It is born of Yaha Yat Antaraha means that which is inside. Like a child is born from the mother. So that is mother is the cause and child is the effect. Born from. Uditaha means manifestation. Saha Uditaha. That comes to manifestation. That which is inside of something else. So it means Viveka comes to manifestation, the Vairagya comes to manifestation, Vairagya comes to birth, but Vairagya is in it's where is in Viveka. So it is Vivekat. Viveka born Vairagya. So Viveka is the cause, Viveka is the Karanam, and Vairagya is Karanam, Karyam. Therefore, Vairagya, Viveka Karyatvam, Vairagyam, the Uktaprayam. By the Nyaya. Taduditaha means that which comes to manifestation, that which comes to birth, which is born. Saha yaha yat antaraha, that which is inside of something is that alone comes to manifestation. It's a nyaya. So therefore, Vairagya is in the womb of Viveka. You can say so. That comes to, when Viveka is there, then Vairagya will come. Vairagya will come is Vairagya has to come. So Vairagya is born of Viveka. Not it is, should come. Viveka is there, then only Vairagya. If otherwise Vairagya is there, then it is not real Vairagya. That is the idea. Tadanantaram uttaratra api anushajyate Vairagyanantaram samadhishatka sampattihi tadanantaram amukshuttamiti. In the same way, the other qualifications follow successively. Like after Vairagya, the samadhishatka sampatti, after that amukshuttamiti, that order, the kramaha upadishtaha. Next shloka, 20 shloka, we will see in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Dhanyavadah.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಗುರುಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಗುರುಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಶರಣ್ಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.